Does your media product develop, or challenge forms of conventions of real media products? So, okay.
So, for example, we have looked at films such as Fish Tank and Bullet Boy. These consisted of different forms of like representation.
They were good examples of, obviously, when we was looking into characters and how they were portrayed. We looked into proper organisation. We looked into their actor specialities, as well as obviously how the director wants his intentions for those characters portrayed. With research into, obviously, like Fish Tank, we have a chavvy female protagonist who is, well, just
outspoken, loud.
Everything a chav is expected to be, and that stereotype was a strong foundation in portraying exactly what that character is. And
we took this idea, and for our film, we changed it by.
We didn't use a chav. We had a heart-to-heart conversation.
We used more of a working class character.
But the identity of the character, the identity of the character also was strung together the film. We had a heart-to-heart conversation about family issues. Some people we know don't actually know their dads and their mums and stuff like that due to many different reasons, and it's like it was a very soft topic, and we found it was appropriate to follow that through and to portray that in a social realism film. What we did differently was once we concluded our film, in the last scene, we didn't actually give a proper ending. We gave it to it left question marks on like.
It was on a cliffhanger.
It was open ended. There were so many different possibilities, and in real life, like all the situations, they could be good, bad, and in good. There's different like conclusions in those meanings. So, the dad might come back or whatever. Like there might be a small relationship going on with times together and stuff like that. Not a full time responsibility. So we pulled that together in a concluded ending as. If someone who didn't actually know their father or mother actually did watch this film, it could relate to them in a way of, just showing their struggle and portraying it in a respectful manner.
Yeah. So our film did challenge the codes of conventions of a usual social realism film, because usually in those films,
in a way,
you will have an ending.
Yeah.
That will answer all the questions. However, in our film, we stepped away from that.
We didn't want to give it a foundational ending. We wanted to leave it open. So, if the audience can answer it themselves, if it's them in that situation, and if they're in that situation, then the outcome might be different, and they can adapted it to their own outcome, stuff like that. What would you like to add on to that? Should we go back to the research?
We did develop ideas of other media
camera work, stuff like that. We
use creative camera work. We've looked at scenes where they've used camera work in really creative decision.
Creative. Well, they pulled together the camera work and the environment and the whole scene around them. So, for example, like when we was filming that in the room where the protagonist was getting dressed. We had shots of the camera in the cupboard. We had the in the closet. Yeah, the closet. We had the We had the towel wrapping over the camera in a man-made transition. We challenged it. We pulled it together. It was quite an ambitious attempt, and fortunately for us, it worked. I reckon camera work, stuff like that. The most successful films aren't the ones with just like basic camera work or just showing conversation, stuff like that. So it's challenging and trying new techniques and adaptations, bringing not just portraying a like scenario where say someone with two people are arguing. It's using the scene around them to just
so we try to go a step beyond to make it interesting to the audience. Our target audience.
It's not just basic like 180 degree camera work. It's not just shots like mid shots and stuff like that. It's just there's creativity around it. It's clear, you can see it. It's portrayed very well, and when it happens, it happens. And we did that with transitions as well. When the flashbacks happen in our first shot, we used a very slow transition, a normal transition that you'd expect for a scene when the scene ends and another scene opens. Yeah. But instead, we had a transition where it gave a sharp burst of light. It was just a bit of a pow and stuff like that. It suddenly changes, and it builds a representation of a flashback. It's an instant memory. So that was a much more effective method we used. We did watch a few short films and actual films used in the industry. By top directors. I'm trying to think, like Lord of the Rings. There was a flashback like that. There wasn't too much of a sharp twist. It was a quite slow transition because of the scene. It flowed well. So we adapted that to our own because we wanted a fast click of instant memory, and that worked so very well with the transition. So the effects used in Final Cut were very well. And if we compared that to like things like Sony Vegas and iMovie, we wouldn't be able to wouldn't be capable of doing it in the same way as Final Cut does. So we were using industry tools their methods of creating a quite successful.
So we think our media product did challenge the different forms compared to a real media project.
Project, like the material stuff like that.
So
I think that's well done. Okay, thank you.